Hi, this is Chandra. I am not a coder, programmer, whatever you call it. I have no background in IT. I'm just figuring out things for myself. I don't know the proper language for anything related to this, but I've been doing file organization with PowerShell via code generated by ChatGPT, and I've been learning along the way. And so today I'm trying to figure out why is it that in the beginning of organizing in the archive, chat would ask me things like select folders that are roughly this size or that size and uh, put them in this shell folder like work in progress. And I would do that and I would struggle with that. And I guess about 10 or so, 15 days into this process, a couple of nights ago when I was organizing images, turns out there's also a code that could be generated in the PowerShell, which um, just randomly selected and kept some kind of track of what had been gathered and processed all on its own. So, like, I'm asking for automated processes, but somehow I'm at the same time not asking or not getting for some kind of reason. So, I have sorted the material from my Google Photos, Google Drive, for my takeout, and the takeout zips were generated and we sorted those. I had space problems, so we played around with that for a bit, which was torturous, but hey, it's good to know how to do that. I was in a position where I could actually go out and buy an external hard drive, but if I wasn't in that position, it's good that this could be accommodated. And so, like, I used AI to figure out ways of moving things, what to take offline, what to keep online. We did that. And then I got the external hard drive, formatted that, and we started downloading OneDrive into this external hard drive. Knowing what I know now, I wonder if that downloading was even necessary. So I have one more large block of content to sort and download. I mean, this is well before I grab my external hard drives and all of that stuff and parse all of this stuff together. But that can wait because I'm assuming most of the stuff is available through these drives. The end goal, meaning I need to create an online database, an archive of the last 30 years of my career and my projects. So I have one more group to sort, and that's my iCloud. So what I'm wondering moving forward uh, is like how how did we go from I need to download, I need to select, and then the code will be generated to a code that just randomly sorted, beginning with 10 images, which was hideous, and then got bumped up to 5,000 because it was talking about what is safe, and okay, what are the parameters of where this is coming from? So there's still a lot that I have no idea what's going on with. Uh, at the end of this, I'm still not going to know what's going on. I don't care what's going on. I just want to know how to manage things so that no manual sorting is on the table. Because after I go through the iCloud, the even bigger tasks, in my opinion, come of sorting through and creating different image architectural kind of structures. And judging from where I was then and where I want to be, I need to figure out my end of it, which are the commands that I generate. So the first question for today is, can I import information from one project to another? That question is because I have discovered that if I want to really access the memory options inside ChatGPT, I need to work in projects, not conversations. So I've started migrating the work that I do that needs to be remembered. That's not just how many freckles does someone have in this video. I do a lot of that kind of search. And so inside projects. So can I import information from one project to another or from conversations to projects? And be concise, minimal explanation, ask before explaining, number options, roll out information point by point, and limit to 3 points. And so minimal ask before explaining only if this is a point that I need to decide on based on not having critical information. Okay, so let's see. Direct import native, no. Chat does not currently support direct import move from one project to another or from conversation into projects. Manual transfer, current working method. So I've been doing manual transfer. Copy paste conversation content into the target project or upload files into the project. Best for structured documents. Optimize workflow. Huh. Stores file upload into new drive. Continue work from that file, avoids fragmentation. Do you want a one command template to convert any conversation into a reusable project file? Yes. So then master conversion project file, paste before your conversation. Convert the following conversation into a clean master system document. Requirements. Output must be inside one copyable code block, one continuous document only. Uh, do not text before or after the code block. No explanations, summaries, or commentary. Remove all errors, failed conversation. Huh. Paste this into any chat. Add your conversation. I really don't understand this. Uh, is this helpful so far? I don't know. So paste this into any chat. Add your conversation. Okay. So I need clearer instructions for one and two. Open a new chat. Paste the entire point. Ah, okay. I get it. So to do this, I have to create new chats and then copy the content from the old ones. I wonder if I can. Okay, then I can do that with this iCloud sorting that I did the other night. Because inside the iCloud sorting, what I found out was that the PowerShell, the terminal inside Mac, could access a reading of all of the files, create a plan for execution inside these small text documents without me moving anything. And then once I have either online or downloaded the files into my desktop, which doesn't have enough space to do that, so that's not going to happen. This code could access the same sorting that I had used inside the PC for the Google Takeout sorting and the OneDrive sorting. So I need to understand what happened in this iCloud conversation. So moving forward, I don't have to do that again. I mean, it's too late. I already did it, but maybe I want to do it again. Maybe I want to go back through my OneDrive, considering all the problems that I had, and try again. Okay, so this is the code to copy into a new chat. Have to find the one for iCloud. And then, let's see. Okay, so yet another new window open. So paste that, paste full conversation below line. Let's see if string A or copy A actually gives you everything. I think it does. Okay. So paste full conversation. It's going to take a lifetime. Okay. It's hard to believe that that's a full conversation. Okay, I guess I'm just not seeing what's happening. Okay, so I'm not even going to type into chat. I'm just going to never tried dictating. I would like to know why it is that inside this conversation, I was able to analyze files inside my iCloud through the terminal on the MacBook Air. Why did I have to download my OneDrive and sort what felt like manually all of those files rather than going through this fairly simple process of generating TXT TXT documents, and then having a full picture of all files in existence and their placement via information given in the terminal and through these text documents. Then come to a plan where when the files were then available by accessing my iCloud, we would run this plan and sort the same as we had done with Google Takeout and iCloud Drive. Was it possible from the very beginning of this data archiving for me to do this simpler process of analyzing all of the files through the terminal without sorting them individually through PowerShell? Let's see how that goes. Wow. You kidding me? Short answer is yes. That simpler analyze first via terminal than act approach was possible from the beginning. But OneDrive behaves differently from iCloud in a few important ways that made it seem like manual sorting was required. Seem. Here's the reality, clean and direct. Why iCloud worked smoothly in terminal. On Mac OS, iCloud is mounted like a normal folder. Lives at library, mobile documents. Files appear as part of the local file system. Terminal can list everything, generate inventories, map structure instantly. Even if the files are not fully downloaded, Mac OS still exposes metadata cleanly. Result, you could analyze first, decide later. Why OneDrive felt manual and fragmented. Microsoft OneDrive does not behave the same way by default. Key differences. It uses files on demand. Files are placeholders, not real files, stored in a sync container, not fully local. Terminal PowerShell sees incomplete data, missing file systems, sometimes inconsistent metadata. So when you tried to analyze everything, you didn't exactly have everything locally available to analyze. The critical constraint you were hitting without being told clearly. So all the chalk that chat does, I still isn't told clearly because there's something inside our communication that still has to be worked out. To do what you did with iCloud, OneDrive requires full local sync, download all files, or forcing hydration of all placeholders. Okay, I love the phraseology. Forcing hydration. Hmm. Without that, any inventory you generate is incomplete or misleading. That's why the process drifted into downloading, sorting manually, reacting instead of planning. What you could have done instead, the clean version, yes, from the beginning, you could have used the same system. Step one, force full local availability. Disable files on demand or always keep on device. Step two, run file system inventory, PowerShell or terminal. Generate TXT file maps of structure, sizes, and file types. Step three, before planning, before touching files, categorize, identify duplicates, define move, delete rules. Execute, plan in bulk. This matches exactly what you later did with iCloud plus Google Takeout. Why it didn't happen that way initially. Not a user mistake, so not my fault. This is a system design issue. iCloud equals file system first design. OneDrive sync client first design. Microsoft optimizes for saving disk space and background syncing. Apple optimizes for seamless file system visibility. So the friction you experienced is structural, not procedural. The bottom line, yes, your terminal first analysis system was valid from the start. It only failed initially because OneDrive was not fully materialized locally. Once files are fully present, the same method works across iCloud, OneDrive, Google Takeout, and any system. If you want, I can give you a single universal command set that works across all three systems so that you never have to sort like that again. Wow. Let's just pause a moment to take in the beauty of that. I love that I got this far. So, huh. So, terminal first analysis system was valid from the start. If you want, I can give you a single universal command set that works across all three systems, so you never have to manually sort that again. Um, please hold this suggestion until later. At this point in our conversation, I am analyzing the process. I have more questions before we get to suggestions. After finishing all of my questions, we can then go through all of your suggestions at once. Can you do that? Be concise. I'll hold all suggestions and stay in analysis only mode until you say otherwise. Okay, so I'm going to ask my next analysis question. What should I have said to get to this terminal first analysis system from the start of my process with Google Takeout and OneDrive and iCloud? How does a person learn how to speak to AI to get to this optimal process rather than being stuck in a system of I make a suggestion, you respond to it, and then I make another suggestion and you respond to that, and that you offer suggestions, but the suggestions are not ones that for me meet my needs. For a layperson moving forward, wanting to be precise, could you give me concise, analytical, academic level answers to this question? I would like you to limit this to 3 points. I would also like you to let me know how many more points could be made. I would like that these 3 points are the most relevant and applicable for a layperson such as myself, who does not have a background in information systems, coding, etc. Okay, so that's our next analysis question so that I can figure out how to start from the beginning. I'm going to do this again with OneDrive. I'm curious and I feel insecure about what came out of it, especially seeing things like SVG files not showing up, which has to do with breakage in my files. This isn't, you know. Okay, you didn't miss something obvious. You were operating without a framing that forces the AI into systems mode instead of reactive mode. That framing is what produces the terminus first analysis system. Okay, so I need AI to be in systems mode, not reactive mode. Okay, here are the 3 most relevant high leverage principles. Specify the phase of work explicitly, meta instruction. What you needed to stay at the start. Do not give solutions. We are in system design phase. First, define the optimal global workflow before any execution. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And yet another new chat window. Oops, battery. Yeah, it was graceless, but I don't care. Um, okay, so that's where this new chat window is going to come up because as chat is telling me this, I'm going to implement it in a new project for organizing my data archive. That's going to be in the next video. I'm going to stop here. Thanks.